number 7 car's problem. Clear wasn't a routine stop.
Just want to flag up an intra-team battle in the GTE Pro class, the battle for third place between the two teammates at Ford GT, Richard Westbrook and Olivier Clark, both bashing in fastest first sector times for their respective cars from the whole race. They're currently separated by just 0.6 of a second. That was even less at the last split. So keep an eye on those. We're currently sitting with the number 5 Toyota, that's Kazuki Nakajima, having just pitted, and they're in fourth. That looks all very routine. Nothing,
all very routine.
There
was a spare nose cone in the other garage. Now it may be they've changed onto their night nose. Yes, such things exist. Predominantly, they have in the past been used to include better lights, bigger lights, brighter lights for nighttime racing, plus also a slight aerodynamic tweak to allow for the cooler conditions and the slightly denser air of the night time here at Le Mans. We're going to draw a line under the NASCAR deal. We gather that Jan Magnussen raced, I lost it now. Pat Long has raced, Jan Magnussen raced in 2010 at Sonoma, and yeah, okay, we've got to the end of that one. Still no chocolate though, and no sweeties have turned up in the commentary booth. So let's get back to the race. Top of the tree, Stefan Sarazan, number 6 Toyota. This car has been firmly in control for the last 4 or 5 hours. It leads the number 2 and the number 1 Porsches.
Yes.
With the number 5 Toyota now in 4th place.
And number 2 and number 1 in that order. They changed places a couple of laps ago. I don't think we saw it. And I must admit I missed where it must have happened out on the racetrack. That change has taken place because number 1 car has been ahead of number 2 pretty much all day long. But that now is the apart from the early laps run behind the safety car before the race got underway properly. So yeah, that is a change now. Jardy, the pole sitter, back up into 2nd place ahead now of Timo Bernhardt.
LMP2 class being led by Pierre Thirier in the Thirier TDS number 46 Oreca Nissan, Nicolas Lapierre in the Alpine Nissan, the number 36 car in 2nd place, and René Rast, the pole sitter in the category lies in 3rd place in the number 12 Gibson prototype. Nick Leventus is in the Straka Open, a Gibson prototype there 4th and 5th in LMP2, and Nelson Banciatici, another Monegasque, is in 6th position in the class, the number 35 Alpine, and the number 44 Manor Motorsport car that was leading class for so long with Roberto Meri sort of vanished after an elongated stop in the last hour. Battle between Pat Long in the Porsche and the Ferrari, and that continues. Pat Long has been in sort of a battle for AM-class honours with everybody all the time. Pedro Lamy got by him in the Aston Martin. Pat Long hanging on in 2nd place in the Porsche. Jeff Segal is the 62 Ferraris driver, currently lying 3rd in the GTE AM class.
And that was a car that finished on the podium also last year. And those 3 cars in GTE AM, the number 98, the number 88 and the number 62, covered by just a couple of seconds or so. So really good battle for the lead in GTE AM.
And they're kind of on their own as well. They are, getting off 2/3 of a lap ahead of Duncan Cameron in 5th place in the class in number 55 Ferrari. Another, I'm sure he's a rookie. I don't think Duncan Cameron's done the race before. I need to check. Jeremy's checking already. So having Paul Trustwell in the booth. Wolf Hensler in 5th position in his number 78 Porsche. And in 6th position is number 61 92 Porsche back in the pit lane. Now they had a drive shaft issue which dropped them way off the tail of the number 91 car, which had a radiator change, so that the Porsches in the Pro class are having no luck at all other than bad, and that is very bad news. They didn't have pace, and now they haven't even got a sucker's lucky break, so they are struggling.
It's such a shame, because right at the beginning of the race, in those awful conditions that the guys had to deal with, you know, Porsche's only hope was
24 hours of rain.
24 hours of rain, and boy did Fred McAveeky put that to good use at the start. He hauled that car up to the head of the field, head of the class, and then now to see them languishing it towards the back and struggling with mechanical issues is just a real shame, because it was our one hope of keeping the GT GTE Pro Class battle alive across more manufacturers than just the Ferraris and the Fords that have been in a bit of a league of their own way out front.
Well, there you go, the 68 Ford leads from the 82 Ferrari. That is the Risi Competizione Ferrari in amongst the 3 Fords in the Pro Class. AM Class, as we just documented, 98 Aston. Pedro Lamy has put that at the front of the field ahead of the 88 car, which is battling for its survival in second ahead of Jeff Segal's Ferrari. And down towards the tail of the field, delays for the number 50 Chevrolet, Corvette for the number 12 Rebellion, and one retirement so far, the 89 Porsche. Everything else is still going in some way, shape or form, despite the woes that have been inflicted on some of these cars.
Let me just answer that question you asked about Duncan Cameron, currently running 4th in the class in GTE AM. Yeah, he did start this race last year, finished way back in 43rd.
Couldn't quite remember, but certainly the Beach boss Andrew Howard, reigning British GT champion, is making his debut here, and that car is still running strongly in its category, as is Stefan Saris, and he leads and must be coming towards the end of his first major outing in the number 6 Toyota.
Завтра в прямом эфире на Евроспорт 2. Route du Sud. 5-й этап.
Welcome back. Jeremy Shaw with Sam Hancock and Mark Coles back with us. Mark, have you had a nice little break out there? What have you found for us?
Well, I found that there's no food left in the circuit tonight, so it's been a long time since breakfast, but I noticed Jeremy's got a food tray waiting for me.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, but then I thought probably wouldn't be worth it. What have I found out? Very downbeat at Audi about what's going on.
Any clue as to what the cars were coming into the garage for?
No, they didn't know in there.
Well, they knew because they've supposedly fixed it, but they're just not telling us that.
There was rumours it was a turbo problem on the other cars, on the second car as well. But they were taking the front off, weren't they?
Yeah, they wouldn't have ever changed a turbo in 3 or 4 minutes, so it certainly wasn't that.
Sorry for that very sharp intake of breath there, interrupting you there, Mark. It was just as I saw the Porsche Porsche that's now coming into the pits is the number 1 car, it's Timo Bernhard, that was taking no prisoners whatsoever through the Porsche.
Let's go down to the pit lane there. We've got John Lucius there, who's a project leader for Toyota Motorsport, and their cars running superbly well at the moment in the 1st and 4th places. And John Lucius has played a major part in that organisation. It's a very much a multinational thing between Japan, Germany and France.
Already on the car. The only fact is that when it really gets dark, we switch on the high beams. We have normally 6 lights in the car. During day running we have 2 lights on. In the night we switch all 6 on.
We heard that the temperature might fall to 5 degrees this night. Is that something that will affect the car in any way?
Yes, the cold temperature makes it difficult to get the tire to work. So you have to make sure that the driver really keep pushing car extra to keep the heat in the tires.
Other than that, it's obviously looking very well. You guys, anything you're concerned about at the moment?
No, for the moment it's running like it should be, but still a long way to go.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you.
Let's pick up on what John was saying about the temperatures falling during the night. It's now 11 o'clock here and it is cold outside. I've been outside with a sweater and it wasn't enough. It's now become sweater and jacket temperatures out there, and I think that temperature is plunging down below 12 degrees quite quickly now. So that's a marker this year, quite different from past years.
I can tell you exactly the air temperature outside right now is, well, it says apparently hotter than it actually seems. It's 15.7 degrees and the track temperature is 20. I don't think it'll take too long for that to cool down even more. And certainly in the LMP2 category, about 5 minutes ago, we saw that the lap times, a lot of the drivers in LMP2, Rast in particular, started banging in his car's fastest laps of the race as he dueled for 3rd position. He's currently in 3rd position, and he and Nico Lapierre were trading fastest lap times, fastest sector times each. The gap between those two, though, yeah, really quite a lot at the moment. René is a lap down. There aren't that many drivers, though, now putting in fastest laps of the race. There's actually only one person even that's doing the quickest sector time. That's Olivier Pla in the Ford GT, and the GT Pro Class, currently lying 3rd overall. As I said before, I'm a little bit surprised to see this. In years gone by, you would expect, now that we are into full dark, you kind of think, oh, visibility is playing its part. The guys don't have quite the same ability to pick out their apexes as they do in the daytime, and so that perfect sort of sweet spot where there's a bit of ambient light left combined with the lower temperatures, which is good for the engine, that's the time when we see the fastest lap times, and we're past that now. That's all changed. Perhaps to a lesser degree in the GT cars, those yellow shrouded headlights actually not offering that great a view ahead and into the corners, but the LMP lights, especially those on the factory LMP1 cars, are just astonishing. They have these laser beams that are perfectly angled both down the road and into the apexes, creating pretty much a daylight experience for the guys.
Yeah, indeed so, and pit stop there for one of the GT Porsches. Meanwhile, the factory prototype Porsches, numbers 1 and 2, are there's a note come up on the screen here to say a whole bunch of different cars, including those two, including also 2 of the Ford Chip Ganassi racing entries, actually both of the UK teams, 66 and 67, must make the right-hand side number panels visible to race control. They must be in accordance to Article 8.1.2.2 and Article 1.2.3.2 of the World Endurance Championship, and that results to those number panels on the side of the car. They must be illuminated at night. There was a note that went out from race control probably about a half an hour ago, just as the darkness really did come down, to say that all teams must have those right-hand side, well, the side number panels visible.
Well, Jeremy, both the Porsches mentioned on their outlets at the moment. In fact, Hartley has just come back in again. Is why?
Yeah, it must be.
to get that fixed. This is going to hurt Porsche, isn't it? And yeah, Gianni's going to have to do the same thing then.
A painful delay. This is just the sort of small mistake that can win or lose this race.
Here's Brendan now. He's only got on board that car.
Brendan, you can see, just trying to keep his composure. He won't necessarily know. Well, they probably have explained that to him over the radio, but how frustrating is.
Well, it's not a quick fix either. It's being dollied back into the garage, and presumably the number 2's car is going to have the same problem in a minute.
It's not the sort of problem you expect to see of a factory team.
It certainly isn't, and you know the regulations are pretty clear. It's not these new illuminated side panels are new, is it, Mark? I mean, they've been around now for many years, and they've run them during the qualifying sessions the last couple of days, presumably without any difficulties. But now it is a problem for the Porsche team.
And when you consider this kind of a delay, this kind of infuriating, unnecessary delay caused by quite a menial part, you wonder why there isn't some kind of redundancy system, something just to provide some ambient light, perhaps from an external lamp, just something basic, so that if the main panel illuminating system does fail, which it can do, I mean, these cars are under immense stress, heat and vibration, which causes all sorts of componentry, especially electrical, that can be quite delicate. It does fail over time, but you would have thought surely they would have some kind of a backup, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they're looking in that rear front wheel well, aren't they? There must be the connections somewhere in there. I mean, they're obviously fitted, but they're not working.
No, we heard that Martin Hayden came in a few minutes ago to say that the Murphy Prototypes team had an identical problem. They couldn't fix. They had to come in and kind of rebuild that light panel and get it back onto the racetrack. So what we're talking about there has been confirmed to us here over our intercom system. And that is a lengthy pit stop that is still going on, and the 2 car is that's just.
Well, we're riding on board it at the moment, so it must be coming in if being called in by race control.
Well, I tell you what, we're sat adjacent to the edge of the circuit as the cars come through the final corner onto the start-finish straight. They're running past us, past our window from left to right, and I reckon there is more than a handful of cars, probably more than are listed on the current race control
11 shown
screens.
there, so
there are a lot of cars that are coming through with, right now, 2 cars going through. We can't see the side numbers. Now, whether or not that's because the illumination has failed electrically or they haven't been cleaned properly, another thing. But actually, the strength of the illumination isn't even that great. You'd have thought there would be systems by now. Another car going through now. I can't even see
25
what it is. BDI, Jeremy.
No, 28. Probably, sorry, it's a more. I think it was that's really easy to see which one that is.
Now this is a major problem. I guess Neil Gianni will not be brought in until they've done the fix on this car. Know what to do.
He was just in for that was routine service there for Neil Gianni in the car number 2, because that had been 13 laps before since he was last in, so that was a scheduled service for them, and we'll have to wait and see now when he comes around whether that light panel is indeed illuminated.
Well, this is becoming a major job. Look at this, they've got a lovely little garage back there, haven't they? But why don't they have a pit as well to do the whole Monty when you take your car for an MOT?
Yeah, he's still in the pits, isn't he? So he's losing a lot of time here. Is that number 1 car for Brendan Hartley, the defending world champions in the World Endurance Championship, Brendan Hartley and Mark Webber.
One health and safety man in the pits has said it's okay. They're going to go underneath the car and see what's going on. But as you say, Gianni's continuing on his way. He's done his out lap and he's now on his first flying lap since leaving the pits.
If you were the held, the held back Audi, the Audi that's had all the problems from the start, the number 7 car, you would have been totally fair enough for thinking, how can we ever get in back? What did they lose? 6 laps at the beginning of the race? 7 laps for that turbo that failed on them very unexpectedly.
They're still 7 laps behind, but they've clawed back 1 lap already for Rebellion ahead of them, and that'll
these incidents that we're starting to see now with their rival teams, this one that Brendan's suffering in the Porsche, this is where you get a spark of hope, isn't it? And you think, 1 lap here, maybe they'll gain 2 laps on the Porsche, maybe 3, who knows, we're about to find out.
Yep.
That's just what the drivers need to reinvigorate rate, their motivation. Not that they will have been trying anything less than their best, but you just need that little extra push to keep the fight up when, for all intent and purposes, it seems done so soon in the race.
And this is the World Championship at double points. So if you just keep pushing, you're going to get more points than you would at any other race. So keep going, keep going.
Of course, you know, it's a delay, but you know, we're still nowhere near, are we, halfway through the race? So a long time to go. So we're just, what is it, just less than 9 hours remaining. My maths isn't very good. No, we've done, what have we done? How long have we done? 8 hours and 17 minutes, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we started at 1500.
That's right.
We've got a few. Thanks everybody for writing in on Twitter using the hashtag #AskEurosport. A few people writing in now asking how are these very thin number panels illuminated anyway. Jeremy, you might have a better understanding than me, but I think it's like it's a current that passes through you know, a number panel that glows with the electrical current.
It's like diode, yeah, like your Christmas tree lights or these sort of things. They just do it for a flat plate. Yeah, it's all pressed.
A little bit of time movement reported back there from Loic to Val. They'll be testing the endurance of these tyres. They're probably moving on to the softer compounds as we're getting into the cooler temperatures of the night. The teams want to keep the drivers out on track as long as possible, because if they can triple stint them or even quadruple, it might save
We can
them
take a break, so just remember to go over to Eurosport 2.
Porsche представляет гонку 24 часа Лимана на каналах Евроспорт.
I think I've never made a secret that Tour de France is everything for my cycling career. It's what I base every single year around. I love going to France every year and racing the best bike race in the world. Champs-Élysées is a spectacular sprint, whatever the year, you know. People who aren't interested in cycling, they watch the Tour de France, they know the Tour de France. The yellow jersey is the signify cycling, you know.
Монумент истины приближается.
This program is presented by Tennis. This program is presented by tennispoint.com.
No way. I'm not paying you. This is ridiculous. Every hole, it's the same crap.
You all right?
¿Tú de qué lado estás?
La chivontera está.
God.
This program is presented by tennispoint.com. This program is presented by Tennis Point. This program is presented by tennispoint.com.
Você tá no Eurofan.
More disappointment then for Portugal as they were held 0-0 by Austria. Cristiano Ronaldo missed penalty costing his side 2 points. Iceland drew again 1-1 with Hungary, the Hungarians missing a chance to go through. And Belgium's 3-0 win over Ireland means that Italy qualify on top of that group as group winners. Well, Ronaldo's stat before the game, 34 free kicks taken, no goals. Perhaps penalty stats may well have been more relevant. Irish fans waiting for a tram in the tunnel, parting and singing "Stand Up for the French Police." Policemen counter via a megaphone, "Go home for the French police." And some Belgians enjoying a conga with a young Irish supporter. Since the start of the Euros, Tali Manolans has attracted supporters from all over Europe, and the proud Irishman knew just what Nice was missing. On Saturday, many Irish, Belgians and Northern Irish fans gathered in the pub for the game between Ireland and Belgium.
Great location, and then with the Euros this year, we're right between the fan zone and the old town. It's been manic.
Especially as it brings fans from the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland closer together.
We had an incident here on Monday where a Northern Irish fan, Sunday night, where an Irish fan died. He fell off a wall. And on Monday in Stade de France, like 40,000 Irishmen stood up and sung "Stand Up for the Ulster Man," which was quite emotional.
Fans were stuck to the chairs, but in the end, only the Belgian fans had reason to celebrate as Ireland were well beaten by 3-0.
If your team plays a bit as good as the supporters, you guys are going to make it.
We will. We will.
Mood in the Irish camp didn't take a blow though, as they were still proud of their team's effort.
Our teams, you know, even when they're not doing so well, so we're proud.
Шантии в поисках чемпиона высокого класса. Завтра в прямом эфире на Евроспорт-1. Скачки Приды Диан.
Horse racing time in association with Longines.
Now we've just arrived in Lille. We come from Switzerland. We're here to support the Swiss tomorrow against France. We're going to take first place in the group. Come Switzerland. Fixtures for Sunday: Romania against Albania and Switzerland against France, as Group A wraps up. Another new haircut for Paul Pogba. And the Swiss saying, it's not Pogba that's your problem, it's us. Well, Switzerland and France will lock horns in Lille tomorrow in a straight shootout for top spot in Group A. We asked Anthony from France and Ronnie, a fan from Switzerland, to battle a juggling contest to pick the winner in our challenge of the day. Both had exactly 1 minute to make many juggles as possible. Well, in the end, Switzerland outplayed France 89-58, a win that would delight the Swiss tomorrow, being thrashed 5-2 when the two teams met 2 years ago at the World Cup in Brazil. Psychological advantage, maybe, for Switzerland ahead of the big clash. Well, that's it for another day. We'll see you again tomorrow. We leave you with some very happy Romanian supporters. Hopeful victory against Albania tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye.
This program is presented by tennispoint.com.
Creo que bastante profesional, que siempre me he preparado al 100%.
Yo pienso primero en el Tour y me preparo exclusivamente para el Tour.
Es un deporte muy duro, pero hay que tener en cuenta que todo lo que tú haces las 24 horas del día es para ir lo más rápido posible en la bicicleta.
soy muy fuerte y peleo bastante con los rivales.
Момент истины приближается. Преданный, фанатичный, одержимый. Я на 7-м небе от счастья, когда ожидания сбываются. Я не могу сдержать слез, получая неожиданные удары. Я — жизненная энергия спорта, без которой звезды не будут такими яркими, без которой эти жертвы ничего не стоят. А соперничество — просто детское баловство. Верный, безумный. Ты поймешь меня, если разделишь мою страсть.
Like anyone, I have doubts and insecurities. I struggle under the weight of expectation. These things have never stopped me, always trying to do my best.
Here goes Jonathan Edwards, round 2.
Still can't quite believe it turned out to be the best ever.
It's another world record, 18 metres 29. He's just taken triple jumping into a new age.
Being an athlete was all-consuming. A single-minded devotion. Being on the other side is not so different. I love sport, the drama, the pursuit of athletic perfection. The genius, the madness sometimes brings.
No, but Jacques, there's no mark there.
I'm Jonathan Edwards. You can only understand my obsession if you share my passion.
I think I've never made a secret that Tour de France is everything for my cycling career. It's what I base every single year around. I love going to France every year and racing the biggest bike race in the world. The Champs-Élysées is a spectacular sprint, whatever the year, you know. People who aren't interested in cycling, they watch the Tour de France, they know the Tour de France. The yellow jersey it signifies cycling, you know?
Монумент истины приближается.
Who knows? Maybe my orphan from Crystal Palace was part of the gang.
Like anyone, I have doubts and insecurities. I struggle under the weight of expectation. These things have never stopped me, always trying to do my best.
Here goes Jonathan Edwards, round 2.
Still can't quite believe it turned out to be the best ever.
It's another world record, 18 metres 29. He's just taken triple jumping into a new age.
Being an athlete was all-consuming. A single-minded devotion. Being on the other side is not so different. I love sport, the drama, the pursuit of athletic perfection. The genius, the madness sometimes brings.
No, but Jacques, there's no mark there.
I'm Jonathan Edwards. You can only understand my obsession if you share my passion.
Porsche представляет гонку 24 часа Лимана на каналах Евроспорт.
Welcome back, and work is well, the Toyota team. They're getting ready perhaps for a pit stop and perhaps a change of nose section on number 5 car, currently running in 3rd place, currently right behind Neil Gianni in the number 2 Porsche. Those two have been trapped behind the next safety car, so but there will be we would imagine about a minute and a half behind the race lead, Stefan Sarthe, when we get back to green flag racing, which is about what they were beforehand, before the safety car came out, in actual fact, so that's about right. But talking about changing that nose section on that Toyota, Sam.
Yes. Sorry, I was actually just picking out. Thanks to Lee Turner on Twitter. He's just retweeted Audi. I didn't know that the Audis both had to pit to have number panels on the side repaired. Did you spot that? That's completely passed me by. That they were some of the cars that race director Eduardo Freitas called into the pits, demanding that they make sure the side number panels are clear to race control.
I don't think they were, but if he's saying that's a fact, then fine. They had various other difficulties, both of those cars.
That comes from Audi Sports on Twitter, so I'm guessing it's correct.
Oh, fine. So that was a routine service they were talking about then, was it?
Yeah, we're still in a safety car,
which call that routine.
Surprising, don't you think? Yeah, like a long time they cleared the ball down at Aston from just the near edge of the gravel trap. It wasn't deeply buried. There was a little bit of debris. It didn't look like too much. It did hit the wall hard, so I guess it's Armco repair, making sure that the Armco is has its structural integrity back before they can release the cars again to full speed racing. Number 5 Toyota of Kazuki Nakajima just making his pit stop there. They are changing the nose. We talked about the two downforce configurations that Toyota have got. They've got this low downforce, which is normal for Le Mans, and ultra low downforce package, which apparently they've developed for this year's Le Mans, so far being credited with their standout performance so far. It's quite a trick to be able to bleed drag from the car but maintain downforce, and it could well be that as conditions cool at night and the cars pick up normally quite a lot of understeer, they feel the need just to go back to a slightly higher downforce configuration.
Yeah, and that was 4:05. That was its 11th pit stop of the day, and that was certainly earlier than it needed to come in. I'm curious as to why they would come in during that while the safety car is out there, because it had only been 11 laps since the last pit stop, so it certainly need to come in that time.
Have been removed. We are still repairing some guardrails. We had a few damages there. We took the opportunity to do all the repairs which we needed. We are also cleaning the track at several places to get rid of the gravel, and we assume this won't last long. We hope this won't last long.
So there is our race director Eduardo Freitas informing us exactly why this is an extended safety period.
I'm just going to say I'm going to shoot off, and we're going to let Neville Hay take the hot seat. But thanks everybody for tweeting into me at Hancock_Sam. But do keep using the hashtag #AskEurosport. And even whilst I'm off air, I'll do my best to answer some of your questions. And the guys here in the booth will keep trying to get to the bottom of any of your queries whilst the coverage continues. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sam. And we're joined now by Carlton Kirby, who's back with us. For Carlton, and boy, there's been all sorts of dramas over the last half an hour or so.
Honestly, I step out of the booth and all hell breaks loose. What's going on? Right, well, I've got some news for you. The 78 Porsche is losing all power, or 30% so far, on one of its cylinder banks, so it's in serious trouble. The Rebellions, we understand that both of them are going to have a clutch change. Just getting this news in right now, so you're first to hear this. It's been hugely dramatic. Those of you who have spent some time with us in the past here at Le Mans know that we have something called the Up All Night Club. Now, it's supposed to start in about 12-minute time, but chomping at the bit is Neville Hay. And we'll be coming to Neville after our commercial break. But as you all know, if you were to take a larynx, smoke it and douse it in licorice, you're kind of approximating exactly what Neville sounds like. Let's just listen to radio.
The restart will be at Arnage, turn 17. Your restart will be after turn 17.
There we are. Restart at turn 17. Arnage. It seems like they've got the night crew on as well. Sounded a bit like a Boy Scout that drafted in. They were doing a great job, by the way, volunteering the car parks, etc. But I guess even the announcer has to take something of a break. We're going to do exactly the same. And when we come back, we will have the good Lord Neville of Hay with us, and he'll be carrying us through the night, interjected of course myself, Jeremy and Martin Haven, as well as Chris Parsons. So plenty to talk about. It's where we go all historic, if not hysterical. So please stay with us for that. I thought we were heading for a break incidentally, but it looks like that's seemingly been delayed. Well, in that case, Neville, I might as well say hello to you now.
Well, yeah, I thought so. I mean, we had Hancock's half hour, which was a lot longer than actually half an hour. Well, we've got, it's all happening, isn't it? I mean, it's been a very difficult sort of hour for an awful lot of people, particularly, I fear. We've got one Porsche that's been in real trouble for a long time. I rather think that it might be terminal.
Well, it certainly seems that way. Apparently, the one of the cylinder banks is just about to give way. It's down 30%, but that was only in the last couple of laps. And so, unfortunately, it looks like the 78, it's Wilf Hansler who's on board at the moment. It's looking, well, not quite sure whether it's terminal or not. They're dealing with it. He is in the pits as we speak, as are so many, including the one car, which has remained there. It's been pitted for well over half an hour now, and what it means is that the Rebellions have been promoted. Imperatori in the 13 car.
Driver change for Mike. Box is left. Driver change for Mike.
And it looks like we are racing again. Well, that was like a wasp in helium jar, I'm afraid. I can't hear any of that.
Well, what happened actually is that they've all been behind the pace car. The pace car has gone in, so now you've got a long tail back before they sort themselves out a little bit, because all the gaps have closed down, and people like Sam very good at closing gaps and things like that.
Yeah, no, we're still a safety car here, and
I thought he was due to pull off actually.
Lights out, but it's time by. Safety car in this lap.
You say when the safety car pulls off, then Sarthe would get the all clear to go again at Arnage for some reason.
Yes.
So the race leader will be the first one to get the green flag at Arnage corner. So 137 laps completed by our race leader. Neil Jarni in second place is also on the lead lap.
Завтра в прямом эфире на Евроспорт 2. Этап чемпионата мира по супербайку в Италии.
At the heart of the Superbike World Championship with Elf.
Welcome back. It's been going on for an awful long time, but the number one Porsche, Brendan Hartley, is supposed to be driving this hybrid, and as you can see at the moment, it's looking rather detached from the activities. Pretty busy with the Toyota. Sarthe is dealing with that right now. And just looking further back down the pit lane, it's an extremely busy place, Jeremy, as you'd possibly expect, because the safety cars just come out and the pit lane is now back up again.
Yes, indeed. And as soon as the green flag is shown again for that restart, Sarthe brought the number 6 car onto pit lane, handing that car over now to Mike Conway. And I think with the fact that the second place car, that's Neil Gianni, in number 2 Porsche, was trapped behind the next safety car out on the racetrack, I think that should just allow perhaps Mike Conway to resume without losing the lead. I'm not quite sure.
One of the Toyotas, incidentally, had a problem with its light board, was called in, then went back out and got 4 damage and came back in again. So it's an assembly of problems, I'm afraid. This is the great duel we're watching at the moment between the 6 Toyota and the number 2 Porsche. This is a battle that's raging right now.
I think that's the 2 leaders, isn't it, going to the
that is.
Sun. Yeah,
that's the fight.
So Conway was indeed able to maintain his lead, but very much, and look at this, the hybrid power there of the Porsche, able to draft past Mike Conway on that straight towards the first chicane.
Well, the Toyota's made
side by side.
They are all the way down here, the Toyota. Oh, and it was only at the very last minute that he see the position.
Yes, it was a question of the last late breaks, I think that was.
Yeah, very interesting. How the cars deploy their kinetic energy recovery systems there, that hybrid power, and then they kind of run out of hybrid power halfway down the straight. And clearly, one of them ran out a little bit earlier than the other, and they were able to go side by side from there. Tremendous battle then for what is now the lead of this motor race, with 138 laps in the books.
Well, Gianni, it is that takes the advantage. Here we are on board, beg your pardon, with Gianni right now. Fantastic efforts. And yes, I think contemplation is the watchword. On the out Conway, Buemi, incidentally, in the 5 Toyota, also on track, but a minute and 19 down. This couldn't be closer. It was about this time that the TV cameras used to get switched off for the evening. We used to go just past midnight, and then they'd leave locked off cameras only on one of the straights, and that was all you got. But we are following the race throughout the 24 hours, and we're glad of that.
I remember that very well, because it was made out quite difficult, really. It wasn't anything you could find to talk about.
Well, it was a very short radio interlude. Sorry about that, Neville. You were saying?
I think the interesting point now is Mike Conway, who has, as far as I'm aware, a lot less experience. I don't know how many Le Mans he's done, and I'm too sure that it might be his first Le Mans.
Who?
Mike Conway. I can't.
Oh, no.
Just off the top of my head, it was certainly earlier, much earlier on in his career. I think when he was last here.
No, he raced here last year, didn't he, with the Toyota team, and his debut was in 2013. So this was his 3rd start, and he finished 6th last year, so last time out. So he's got plenty